presented by 5-Hour Energy. Just about 7 to the third quarter. A big 14-play momentum-swinging drive before halftime for Cincinnati. Cuts the lead to 21-7. The Bearcats will start the second half with the football. Bob Wischusen here with Rod Gilmore. Quinn Kesnick down in the field as well. Rod, though, even with that 14-play drop, we can't bury the lead, which in the first half was Nathan Shieldhouse, an Illinois offense, big plays, 21 points. They were big last season. So far this year, they've looked like anything but.
I guess the new offense is for real because they were dominant in the first half, and it was about big plays. I mean, something that was not there at all last year, they have found here. They found it early. Shieldhouse gets Ferguson on a deep ball. That's the first score, puts them up 7-0. Now they get fancy. They come back with an end around. Langford gets this one into the end zone, 29-yard run to finish this thing off. That put them up 14-0. They weren't done. A little bit of play action pass on a 3rd and short gets Wilson behind the linebackers into the end zone. It was 21-0 before Cincinnati could do anything.
The Illini already this season have more plays traveling 30 yards or more offensively than they had all of last year. 7 so far this season, including 1 today, and 6 last year. So it's a completely different look to this offense for Bill Cubit. And certainly last week, you can understand why there would be a little bit of hesitation to crown this offense and say, hey, they've really got it turned around. They did play Southern Illinois, but now they're going up against an automatic qualifying BCS team. A team that has made it to the BCS before, also a team that's been a regular bowl participant in Cincinnati, and they look great in the first half.
A team that's been respected for the last several years because of how well they've played, and now they put up 21 points against that defense in the first half.
And look at the lineage of coaches as well. The Mark D'Antonios and Brian Kellys don't get the jobs that they have now unless they have been terrific, and they were terrific at Cincinnati. Here's Abernathy to open up the second half. Stumbles and falls. He has lane. Who will be the quarterback for Cincinnati? Let's go down to Quinn.
Yeah, the answer is Munchie Legault. Earlier in this halftime, you saw him on the sideline actually taking some oxygen. He was winded late second quarter, 6 consecutive running plays. He had to take himself out. Just a matter of him bouncing back. It is hot down here, but athletic trainer Bob Mangine told me Munchie's fine. They only had to give one athlete on the Bearcats sideline an IV during halftime, which is a big improvement from last week.
Quinn, did it surprise you that even after halftime, Munchie Legault came out and still looked a little fatigued?
I'm not sure what his preference is, but he sat down after warming up and just kind of went to the oxygen as a refresher.
Interesting that a player, Rod, would be back on the oxygen after halftime. Normally you'd expect this to happen right at the end of a drive. This is Munchie Legault before coming out to start the second half, and obviously college football halftimes last a long time.
Yeah, well, these late August, early September games in hot weather affect people differently, and it's really, really tough weather. I mean, a lot was said about Jadeveon Clowney, a little bit of that about Munchie today.
Second down and 10, and he's got plenty of room to run. Gets a block, cuts it back up inside. And he's got a first down out to the 45-yard line. Nice block by Chris Moore, sprang him for 21 yards.
You know, they found their offense when they started running Munchie Legault. I mean, when they got him going in the second quarter, late second quarter, their offense started to move.
Here comes the blitz off the edge. Legault has to force a flipped screen pass and misses Ralph David Abernathy the fourth. It'll be second and 10.
Can't miss that one. He had it there. You just have to not panic in that situation. Give a little touch and let Abernathy take the ball and run with it.
So Cincinnati really trying to flip the script in this game as they score the touchdown before halftime. And they open the third quarter with the ball. Legault finds a wide open Morrison, but threw it just a bit out in front of him. Now it will be third down and 10. Illinois has spread the football around, but that 14-play drive at the end of the first half makes it 21-7, and Cincinnati won the toss and deferred their option to the second half, so they have a chance to string together 2 big drives if they can keep momentum going here, but now it's third down and 10.
Yeah.
4-man rush. Legault bobbled and dropped again. It's Morrison with a chance, and a late flag thrown in the secondary. This could be a vital penalty call. Offensive pass interference.
Pass interference. Offense number 6. Penalties decline. 4th down.
They got Anthony McClung. He was on the same side as Morrison.
So a 14-point lead for Illinois, as it looked like Lego might get that Cincinnati offense going to begin the third quarter, but they stall near midfield. Lloyd angles the rugby-style kick. It's fielded by Jose, and he goes down immediately. Gang tackled at the 25-yard line after only a 28-yard punt. Let's go down to Quinn.
Guys, I caught Bill Cubitt coming out of the Illinois locker room at halftime, and he told me we got more new looks for him. I said, really, Coach? You threw everything at him, but misdirection, vertical passing game, play action. He showed me the laminated sheet, and he said, look, we've got about 8 different looks to work off of what we've shown already, so expect some surprises from the Illini.
Well, he is a big believer in formations. That's been part of his trademark. Western Michigan, Florida, Stanford. He believes in a lot of formations to give the defense a lot to think about.
Here you've got 3 wide receivers, no tight ends, and a straight-up I formation. John Davis, who's kind of a jack-of-all-trades, lines up as the fullback in a straight run play for Josh Ferguson. Gains about a yard, but last season, you want to talk anemic. This Illinois offense was about as bad as it gets.
Well, just awful. I mean, look at those numbers. Triple digits in almost every category. And, you know, Beckman got a lot of heat during the offseason. Fans weren't impressed. They thought the offense really kind of stunk, and it did, and they were skeptical about what could happen this year. And so far, the offense has been off to a good start.
Another straight run, and a seized part on second down and long for Ferguson. He comes up about 4 yards shy of a first down. It will be 3rd down and 4. Last year, the Illini lost every Big Ten game, obviously. In those Big Ten games, they didn't average 12 points a game.
Yeah.
Now, in college football, with more plays, the clock rules obviously lead to higher scoring games. When you can't average 12 points a game in your conference, well, that's as bad as it gets.
And they couldn't run the ball. They couldn't run the ball at all last year. They've run the ball really well today.
3rd down and 4 here. Plenty of time on the play clock as Shieldhouse lines up in the shotgun. Delayed blitz. Shieldhouse bottled up. Perfect defensive call that time for Cincinnati. Art Kaufman dialed up the rush they needed.
Jeff Luke came in with the pressure, got some help from Aiken up front, but it's the delayed blitz. You see the little move from the outside by 48 Luke. No protection there. Comes in and makes the play.
So the Illini go backwards on 3rd down. Now it's 4th and 10, and Duvernois with a pair of returners back, and Washington and McClung kicks it away. Line drive, and this will head up the sideline. It's a shank and go out of bounds in plus territory for Cincinnati. So the Bearcats will start at the Illini 45-yard line. That's a 20-yard punt. Great field position for Cincinnati. Down by 2 touchdowns. We are back here in Champaign, the old stomping grounds of the Galloping Ghost. Red Grange. Dick Butkus, of course, also calling Illinois home. Back here at Memorial Stadium, there are the 2 true immortals in the history of this program, immortalized atop Memorial Stadium. Cincinnati with a big chance to swing the momentum here. And a false start. Parker Anger started early.
78. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
You know, this could be a really huge momentum-changing drive for Cincinnati, and they open it up by going backwards.
It was 21-0 Illinois, in case you're just joining us. Then Cincinnati scored on a 14-play touchdown drive right before halftime. And now early 3rd quarter, they start in plus territory. Lego, up the seam, wide open. It's Shaq Washington. There's a first down catch and then some. A gain of 25.
Well, they got him in a 3-deep coverage, and on the left side, they send 2 wide receivers down the field, threatening the outside third guy, and then just a little bend inside to get free. That's Washington, who found that soft spot.
They go on a keeper. Tripped up. Lost 2.5 yards.
How about Monheim, huh? He's one-on-one with a guy who's a better athlete. Watch how he gets in there and hangs in with Munchie Lego. He comes right up, a better athlete. He's gonna beat me, jukes me. He makes the play. That is a great one-on-one play.
Quick to the outside to McClung, and it will be 3rd down and 5 at the 20-yard line. Well, back to Mason Monheim for a second. He was the first true freshman to ever lead Illinois in tackles last season. He was 15th in the Big Ten in tackles last year as a true freshman. So what a future he has. 3rd down and 5. The lob. No chance. Jalen Dunlap all over McKay. So the momentum stopped, at least for the time being, by the Illini defense as they force a field goal opportunity here. The short field only gives Tony Miliano a chance from 37 yards out to make it an 11-point game. And he bends it through. So Miliano, the junior, makes it a 21-10 Illinois lead. And that's going to be a win for Tim Beckman's defense.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Lexus. Introducing a car designed with one purpose, to stand apart. The all-new 2014 Lexus IS. It's your move. And AT&T. Rethink possible.
Virtually every student that attends the University of Illinois takes at least one class during their time here in Lincoln Hall, and you can see the...
What are they doing to his nose?
They rub the nose for good luck. That's a tradition here in Illinois.
Before a test?
Champagne. I would have done anything for good luck before a test.
Yeah, I would have taken the entire bust.
11-point lead now for the Illini. They're about to get the football back. D'Angelo Bentley will take a knee. The entire NASCAR season comes down to this. Jimmy Johnson remains ahead of the pack. The playoffs are just a week away. It's a final shot to lock up a spot in the chase. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series in Richmond tonight at 7 on ABC.
Do you see where Jimmy Johnson said that NASCAR is safer than football? He said, we don't really get concussions. You know, we've got all this foam in our helmets and, you know, we don't have things running at us. Of course, they run into things.
Yeah, I don't know, 185 miles an hour with a cement wall.
Yeah, but he says,
right next to
he says, you know, very few concussions in NASCAR. He says it's a lot safer.
I think golf is safer than both. That's the way I always looked at it.
Except for when I'm on the team.
Shieldhouse on 1st and 10, out of the shotgun. Broken up. Nice job by Howard Wilder, who was playing right corner. Trenier Orr has a knee brace on, so the normal starting corner, now with a knee brace and crutches as he's heading off. So he was injured earlier, and Howard Wilder steps in and gets a pass defensed.
Well, you would expect Wilder to get tested a little bit more, something other than just short passes, but something to make him think about being beat deep.
Five-man rush on 2nd and 10. There's the screen, dropped by Young, and he was going nowhere. Great read by Greg Blair to come up. He was all over Donovan Young, and now it's 3rd down and 10.
He's been disruptive. I mean, when Blair has had the opportunity, he's been disruptive, and it's changing this game. The Illinois offense has not moved the ball in a couple of series now.
There are a couple of sections of Cincinnati fans that are here at Memorial Stadium, and they're sensing the momentum shifting. This is mostly about 80% a very quiet stadium, but there are 2 sections that are on their feet right now for 3rd down and 10.
Looks like they're going to get man coverage, press coverage.
Play clock at 2. They just get the snap off. Shieldhouse under pressure, high to the sideline, jump ball incomplete. Steve Hall had a chance. Aaron Chenault was there in coverage, 3 downs and out, and Cincinnati about to get the ball back again.
Well, Chenault had single coverage. We talked about it at the beginning of the play, and he just managed to hang in there and hang with Hull. Goes up to the highest point and makes the play. That's really good defense. 2 good plays on that series for Cincinnati to get them back in the position to be in this ball game. They can have good field position here and a chance to pick up another score.
Something that sounds all too familiar to Illinois fans when they've watched their offense as good as they were in the first half. That is 3 straight 3-and-outs for Nathan Shieldhouse and the Illini. Duvernois, a much better kick this time. Splits the returners and forces McClung all the way back to his 21. And he is bottled up at about the 33. It's a 12-yard return after a 52-yard punt. That changes field position. You've got Tommy Tuberville now as the head coach at Cincinnati. He has been at the top level. He has been at Auburn. He has been at big-time programs. When Mark D'Antonio was here, he goes to Michigan State. Brian Kelly, of course, now at Notre Dame. And Butch Jones takes the Tennessee job. So you wonder how, if you're a Cincinnati fan, you view Tommy Tuberville. Clearly, the last 3 coaches that you've had have used this as a stepping stone job to what would be considered a bigger job, but now you've got a guy that's already been there before. They go to the sideline. And that's close to a first down. What would you think?
I think Tommy Tuberville is here because his wife wanted him to be here. You know? She's from this area, and he went hunting for the job and got it, and he said she's never been happier. So I think it's not a stepping stone. I think this is where he wants to be for a good while.
Make a long throw to the sideline again, and that's good for another first down to Shaq Washington. Well, you're right. If your wife is happy, happy wife, happy life. And he told us, I've dragged her all across the country, back and forth, one town after another, chasing my career. Now, maybe I can go where she wants to be.
I think she told him that. You dragged me all over the country. Now we're going to go here.
There you go. Escapes the bucket. And steps out inside the 40-yard line. A gain of about 2.5. Well, he also, I think, feels the support that you get. Santa Ono, the athletic director, the school president, pardon me, for Cincinnati, he is a big sports fan. He's really behind Cincinnati being a top-notch sports school. Floating pass that's caught by Morrison. He's to the sideline. Out of bounds at the 10. It'll be first and goal and a late flag thrown as well. A gain of 32 for Max Morrison plus the penalty.
After the play was over, unnecessary roughness. Defense number 24. Half the distance from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
This is just a crossing route. They had clearance out there. They went the wrong way on McClung. And that just left Morrison crossing the field without anyone picking him up. And since there was no one on the right side, the right flat, he had a lot of room to run.
It was 21-0. 21-10 now, and it's first and goal for Cincinnati. Abernathy up the middle, but out of more of a spread look, so Illinois not loading up the tackle box. He picks up 3 down to the 1-yard line.
You're exactly right. They went with the 4 wide receiver look, gave themselves a little bit more space down there so that a smaller guy like Abernathy had a little bit more room. Now they look like they're going to go big backs down here.
Well, they still have Abernathy in as he's the I-back, an extra offensive lineman in the game as well. Second and goal at the 1. Abernathy. We have seen that script played out before today. He lost a half yard. Jonathan Brown brought him down. It'll be third down and goal.
Well, it works when you spread them out and you give him some room to operate. But when you tack it in there with the extra tight ends, then you ask him to pound his 165-pound body in there, it's just not going to work.
This is a huge play. difference between 21-13 and 21-17 in the momentum. You wonder what Cincinnati might do on fourth down if they get shut down on third down.
Well, they weren't afraid to throw it before, and they got the coverage they wanted last time, and they found something in the back of the end zone.
Lego looking for the slant, tipped and incomplete, and now your decision. Do you kick the field goal and make it a one-possession game? Do you go for it on fourth and goal?
I kicked the field goal. You know, it used to bother me when coaches would say, it's a four-quarter game, and then they'd coach it like it was 2 or 3. You've got momentum, things are going well, kick the field goal, it's a one-possession game.
His nickname is the Riverman.
Yeah.
And on fourth down and about a yard and a half to go.
It may work out, they might get it, but I wouldn't do it. You can make it a one-possession game by kicking the field goal here. You don't need to take the risk here.
Fourth and goal for Cincinnati. Lego, play action, out on the edge. He'll try to run it in. At the goal line, is he in? Yes! Touchdown Cincinnati! Somehow Munchie Lego got it across the goal line.
A gutsy call and a gutsy run by Munchie Lego. Watch him lower the shoulder and fight to get this in. Did he get it in?
Wow. Impossible to tell.
Wow.
Now remember, there has to be indisputable video evidence to overturn the call on the field. So you have to be able to see the football.
Yep.
If you are the review booth, is there ever a time here that you can indisputably see the football with relation to the goal line?
Not on that angle. Not on that angle. But he doesn't have the football there. Now, he may have broken the plane before he lost the football. So there may be two things that they're looking for. Did he break the plane and did he have the football when he did so? Or was it a fumble?
Well, if they rule the ball lost in the end zone, which obviously it did come out, but it looked as if the official on the near side had ruled it was already a touchdown.
Yeah. I still couldn't see the ball till the very end there.
The ball's out, and maybe they would simply rule that Chris Moore, the wide receiver, who was there with Munchie Lego, recovered a fumble in the end zone. Although that certainly didn't seem to be what the official on the near side ruled. I think he signaled touchdown before he even saw the ball come out.
So the first thing is to look, do you have enough evidence to overturn that as to whether he crossed the plane? There is nothing from that angle to tell you that the ball did not cross the plane. So I don't see any evidence to tell me there that the call on the field was wrong.
Watch the official at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, he's right down here.
He should come into the frame, and if we roll this forward, we'll probably see him come running in, signaling touchdown, and you would think before he realized that the ball came loose, he's already made, I think, a touchdown call.
Yeah, I just don't see...
He's signaling touchdown. He has no idea if the ball's out or not, I would think there, right?
Yeah, I don't see any compelling evidence to say that the official is wrong there with that call. We can speculate and we can say we assume the ball came out and he didn't cross the plane, but we don't see anything to tell us that.
Well, this is the classic example of needing indisputable video evidence. Right. If that official on the near side had ruled him down at the 1 foot line, they'd probably have to put the ball down at the 1 foot line.
Yeah.
Because you can't see the football. Be very interesting to see how the review booth
see, his knee is not down. He's still moving. Can't see the ball there.
Our referee, John O'Neill, is still on the headset, as obviously the replay booth is giving this a very thorough look.
Well, if it takes that long, you know, if it takes that long, it should be allowed to stand. We've had it 3 or 4 times up here, and I'm still looking for the compelling evidence that the ball didn't cross the goal line.
I guess the only angle that you could make an argument is that last angle we showed as the ball comes loose. Can you say, well, if it comes loose and we see it shy of the goal line, then logic would state that the ball didn't get to the goal line.
But I don't think
would that be considered indisputable?
I don't think you can tell from that angle when the ball came out, was it crossed the goal line or not. I don't think from that back view we can determine that. And we've been at this for, what, more than 3 minutes already?
Well, here's the decision.
After further review, the ball carrier fumbled the ball forward. It was recovered by another player. By rule, that ball cannot be advanced. As a result, Illinois ball, first and 10.
So there's your decision.
Wow.
That last angle that we showed, they determined that he had not broken the plane of the goal line and that the ball had come loose. As a result, if it goes in the end zone, you can't advance the fumble. Illinois gets the ball at their own 1 foot line.
You know, I can't tell from that back angle when the ball came out. Now, from this angle, you can't see when the ball is out. Can you? I didn't see the ball out from that angle. It's this angle you see the ball out, but not until where? Now.
That's a very tough call.
I don't know how they can make that call.
It's very interesting because you're right. There has to be indisputable evidence as Shields from the end zone flips it up the sideline. And it's John Davis that makes the catch. I guess the issue is that the replay booth is saying indisputably.
Yeah, he fumbled the ball.
Not only that he fumbled, but that if the fumble takes place after he has broken the plane, it would still be a touchdown. So indisputably they are saying that the official on the near side was wrong. The ball had not crossed the plane before the fumble.
And I
Did
didn't
you
see
tell that from the angle?
I did not see that. It was not clear to me that that's exactly what happened.
What a call that turns out to be. Second down and about a yard. And Donovan Young brought down by Nick Temple. And the Bearcats think the ball came out. They think that's a fumble, and they've got a recovery. Nick Temple comes out of the pile with the ball.
Runner was down before the ball came out. First and 10, Illinois.
So let's see if the replay booth buzzes down to possibly judge whether or not that was a fumble and a recovery by Nick Temple of Cincinnati. It looked like Nick Temple just snapped away. And the replay booth will buzz down. So another huge review coming. So while we review whether or not Nick Temple simply snatched the ball away, we'll step aside for just a moment. What a wild game here in Champaign. As we return, you hear the decision. It looked like Nick Temple may have had a chance to take that ball away, but the review booth says no. Dave Kataya is our rules expert. And let's bring him in just a moment, not just to talk about that call, but also about the review of the touchdown a moment ago.
I didn't see that.
And see what his thoughts are. So we'll get to that in just a moment after this play as Illinois maintains possession and gets a first down out to their own 11-yard line. And off to Ferguson. Moves the pile for about 3 yards. Dave Kataya, let's bring you in now and ask you what your thoughts are on the review of the fourth down touchdown attempt at Cincinnati.
Well, there's two pieces here, actually. I don't see anything in that play that would cause me indisputably to change the ruling on the field. You can't see the ball all the way down. You've got to stick with a call in the field, which is my belief. The second part of that, on fourth down, only the fumbling player can advance. But I want to reiterate, I really don't see anything on that would cause me to indisputably believe that call should be reversed.
Dave, thank you very much, because that's basically exactly what we said and the point that you made, Rob.
Yeah, that's what we saw, and I mean, that's the rule as we've always understood it, that it should be really, really clear when you look at that replay if you're going to overturn that call. And I don't know how, as Dave just said, you could look at that last view and be absolutely certain that there was a fumble, that the ball did not break the plane. I don't know how you can completely be certain about that.
Well, again, as Dave said, it's two pieces.
Yeah.
If the replay booth says he indisputably fumbled, that might not be for debate. The debate is whether or not he had broken the plane before coughing up the football, which would nullify the fumble. Shieldhouse on a third down, keeps the drive alive. He finds Spencer Harris out to about the 27, and that's the part I would think, if you're Cincinnati, that you'd really be upset about.
Yeah, but they've got to let it go. They've got to let it go and move on and play defense and get a stop. And again, even if they hadn't gone for that, remember I talked about kicking the field goal and making it a one-possession game, and they chose not to do that. They gambled. It is still a two-possession game now for them. They have to get a stop and get a score to get back in and do it quickly.
First and 10 for Illinois. And Shieldhouse, kind of an offset pistol and an end around. This time, Langford star steps and gets up the sideline again. Silverberry Muhan stayed home and had a chance, and that little change of speed by Langford throws him, and he picks up 12.
Well, Corey Lewis, the left tackle, gets a nice block out there. You see it right in the middle. He managed to get himself in a position to take Nick Temple out of the play. That is the third end around we've seen in this ballgame. And Langford has 46 yards on those end around plays.
Shieldhouse off a play action fake. Looking deep. Long throw to the sideline. Broken up. Spencer Harris had it in his hands. Howard Wilder, maybe a little late to react, still got over there and helped force the incompletion.
Well, two things. One, the ball came out late. And two, that ball was in the air a long time. There's